just hit the pool, and it's Friday, so I thought I'm in the new room. We still got a lot going on here, and but I had a moment where I thought I'd come live and just see who's who wants to hang out on a Friday. How's everybody doing out there? We've got a little strawberry apricot. Now, I'm not sponsored by Red Bull, but I wouldn't mind if they hit me up because it's the fuel. Now, I'll pull this back so you can see I've done a little bit of decorating here. I got my Elvis, I got my Jimi Hendrix. If we look up top, there's Eddie Van Halen up there. And I decided my main wall that I do, my lives and I'll do, shoot content. What's up, Dustin? How you doing? The main wall that I'm gonna shoot my content on, I just kept my little platinum and gold plaques and stuff. I put them on my back wall. My wife said, "Oh, it's almost like you're, moving on." And I'm like, "Yes, I am in a new location, and we're gonna create some new music and new memories here." So I just put some cool stuff up on the wall to just kind of give a little bit of vibe. We got Dustin, we got 4 in the house. Welcome, Ryan, what's up? Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it so much. Like I said, I just got out of the pool, took a little shower, figured I'd come live. The wife went shopping, so I get a little moment to come live. And I wanted to come out and hang out with all y'all. What's everybody doing today? What's everybody want to talk about? I've got a birthday coming up next Saturday, and I'm going to go live on my birthday. What's kicking, Billy Blaze? Chris, I can watch. It's my lunchtime. See, Chris? We try to accommodate everyone. Chris, you're back at school, right? Anthony, what up? What up? Man, we're here in the new digs. This place has an amazing pool, shall we call it. And someday I may go live from the pool so you guys can see. But it was our first time checking it out. We couldn't stay long because we've got furniture deliveries and everything. We're settling in pretty good there, Billy. Back in school meetings all day. Man, I hate to hear it, Chris, but hey, we gotta make some bread, right? You gotta let us see the pool bunnies faux show. Stealth. We don't want the wife to get angry. But I'll be sure and show you the nice accommodations at the pool. And they have a full bar at this pool and a swim up bar at the pool. Now, I don't really drink anymore. You can do it on the cool. Yes, I can, Billy Blaze, just for you, sir, just for you. They've got a full bar. They've got food trucks. I mean, this is a little more than a pool. And the cool thing is it's open to the public, so people can pay to come to this pool. But for residents, it's free to get in. But you still have to pay for your drinks and the food trucks and all that. Ever tried a PV Invective amp? Chris, I have not. And I see those. Isn't that is it Periphery guy? Oh, dude, Billy, it is swag, bro. This pool is swag. And the cool thing is, I love this. So you get like a member's code at the bar, right? So you get discount on your drinks and all that. You don't pay like full price. And since it was my first day there and the bartender was like, I didn't know that I needed like my discount code. So he goes, I'll just use mine. So he swiped his code. He says, "Oh, I've got so much credit on my card because you get like bonus tickets, right?" So my 2 Red Bulls and 5 waters cost me 15 cents. And so I said, "Well, dude, thanks for letting me use your code. I'll gave him a $10 tip." He's like, "That's cool." So yeah, you get 10 waters for $1 if you're a resident at this pool. I mean, dude, I'm like, I'm ready to hang there all day. I'm gonna have to go live from that pool and let you guys see. Back in the 80s apartments I lived in, bought a keg for the residents every weekend. Billy, now that's wild. Where was that out, Billy? A keg at your pool. This has got a full bar, like bartenders, swim up bar, then another bar, and then food trucks and water slides, and oh man, it's like a staycation here. So I think we're gonna really enjoy it. North Texas, Fort Worth. Well, God bless Texas, right, Billy? God blessed it, if you know what I'm saying. I always look when you're on the road, and I would tell my wife this. Certain places you would see on the map, and you'd go, "Oh, we're going to North Dakota, beautiful country, but yeah, we're probably not gonna party too hard. We're probably not gonna party too hard." But you would see Texas, California, Florida, or Arizona even on the itinerary, and we're like, "Oh, this weekend's gonna be off the chain." So those are the preferred places, and I'll tell you guys a little bus story. I may have told this one before, but basically, there was one bus that I heard through the cleaning crew. "Welcome to cover band hell here in Florida." Yeah, it probably is no cover charge. It probably is here, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just gonna expand my horizons. YouTube, air gigs, and maybe the occasional live gig. But I'm gonna be doing interviews with some of my friends. Yeah, man. When we gigged, we always saw the sun come up after the gig. Oh, bro, you know it. Like there's some bars, right, where I learned to bring a pair of sunglasses. Hi, CC, what's happening? I learned there were some bars where you brought a pair of sunglasses and you tucked them in your shirt, right? And they would keep the bar just unnaturally dark, and you knew that when it was time to leave the bar, like Club Anytime in Atlanta, in Buckhead, you go, "Okay, oh, we're leaving." Okay, so you put on the sunglasses and you'd come out. It's like the vampire, coming out of his lair into the sunlight. There in New Orleans is like that. They would keep some of the bars like really dark, so when you came out, it would be morning, and it's just like you would need sunglasses when you came out of them. But we're having fun. We're having a little Red Bull. We're doing a little chat. We've got all my friends here. This is awesome. Next Saturday, again, it's going to be my birthday. So I'm going to go live. I don't know what time. I don't know what the family's got planned. And frankly, the really light, I used to call that syndrome, the reality light, yes. Yes, the bars close when the people leave, but they stay open. Billy, you're not in New Orleans now, though, right? You're in Texas. Man, there used to be a place called Jake's, right? In New Orleans that we used to go to. It was just pitch dark, right? I think that was the name of the place. Pitch dark in there, dude. I mean, literally. Grew up in Louisiana. Yeah, it seemed like Texas and people in Louisiana and Texas kind of, especially if you're along that border, like everybody kind of bops back and forth there. But we're having some Red Bull. We're having a good time. It's Friday. Good afternoon, Joe. What's up, brother? I'm doing great. Glad to have you here, Joe. We're having a good time. We're having a little Red Bull and having a little chat. So this is the new dig, Shreveport Square, and I've played Shreveport, or was it Baton Rouge? Man, I tell you what, I'll have to one day do the research, and I've got some tour books that were just for the band that I was in, and it lists the dates, and it like says some crazy stats like, 145 shows or 49 shows and 220 days on the road and 3 hospital visits and all this crazy stuff that happened over the course of the year. It was such a whirlwind you don't even remember. I am very happy today. Today was, it's been tough, but man, going out to that lagoon was just a little bit of therapy. I could have stayed there the rest of the day, but like I said, I got furniture coming. I got cable guy coming to hook up a Wi-Fi extender, and we've just got a lot of stuff still going on, and I still got a big mess in my room. But I've got this wall cleared out, and this will be my my space that I'll do some of these lives from. Whoa, what's up, Bad Brad? Major upgrade. I missed your message, bro. Hirsch Coliseum and Municipal Auditorium in Shreveport back in the day, besides the Shreve Square downtown. Man, like I said, I've played so many places. All my paper calendars only have a few left. I think we've all been to places we don't remember. CC, you know it. I just, like, I was driving somewhere, or I was up on the road somewhere. We were in St. Louis visiting my friend Paul Chapman, who I was on the road with Cole Ford. And he was telling me, yeah, dude, that Coliseum right there, we played there. I'm like, dude, I have no recollection of the whole thing. So today when we were out at the pool, I heard Cruz, copy pasta. Whoa, what's up, Bad Brad? I've been enjoying your latest videos. Thank you for being so transparent. Thank you for being here, man. I think I've finally found my crew, all you good people that tune into this channel. I'm so grateful to have this group of people, man. We've got so many cool people and so much musical experience and shared camaraderie that, man, that's what this channel is all about. Good vibes, bro. But I heard today, so we're at the pool, and Florida Georgia Line cruise comes on. Firewater in Dallas Fort. I don't think so, Billy. I don't think so. But I heard back to back cruise by Florida Georgia Line. Well, we opened the entire cruise tour with Florida Georgia Line. Then the next song they played was "Drink in My Hand," Eric Church, and we did the whole Canadian tour with Eric Church. And it's just like I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, it's like I'm at this pool and I feel like I've landed. I've landed on my feet, and that's in my past. I'm hearing the music in the background, but I can remember those days. I can remember some of those shows like it was yesterday. But I am elated to be here and be elated to be here on YouTube with my friends. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got 8 in here. I want to see 8 thumbs up. All right? Does anybody have any questions, any guitar stuff? I've got some guitars here. I got this sweet burgundy Gibson SG Special. And this is a really cool guitar. I've done some videos on it in the past, and yeah, this guitar is sick. It's super cool. It's got a thick neck. As you can see, I just love that color, man. I've always loved candy apple reds, and red guitars. It's just, to me, it's always been just a cool thing. But man, I'm hoping to get back and get my chops back up and do some more playing. The more more time that we have here, and I'm getting, my wife's got a separate office set up for her work, so I'm hoping to get her situated there. It reminds me of a killer hot rod car. Yeah, dude, I love the hot rod colors, man. How about lime green metallic? That's hot. I mean, I never really understood. I understand tobacco sunburst now as I got older. I actually started to like it. But when I was a kid, I was like, man, what's this brown, yellow thing? But now I totally get it, because it went by so fast I couldn't see it. He wrote the book, Tone Chaser. Oh, yeah. I barely saw your message. It went by so fast. But there is, the Tone Chaser. 1 second, I'll be right back. Mia, are you okay? Mia. What are you looking for? A what? What do you want? Quick, I'm on the computer. What do you want? Mommy's not here right now. Go sit in your room. Mom will be back in a little bit. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys, but I am babysitting at the same time. Mia is in her room, and so sorry if I missed any messages there. Be sure and smash that like. I'm sure as soon as the doorbell rings, I'll probably have to turn this off. But yeah, thank you guys for being patient with me. Little Mia, yes, little Mia is watching Curious George right now, which is, I think, probably the best show. Oh, that Red Bull, it tastes so good. It's so good. So, yeah, the hot rod colors, lime green, hardtail, only for me. I tell you what, I've never owned a hardtail Strat, but you know they're usually lighter, right? They're usually lighter, and used to feel that way. They were bad if you had the time. Man, I used to only play guitars with a Floyd Rose, but you know, I grew up in the '80s, right? And once I got that Floyd Rose, I was just dive bombing and doing so. This is a funny story. I always have funny stories. That's why everybody tunes in. So when I got out of Catholic school, and I wanted to go to public school because you know, the Catholic school, everywhere I go, oh, you can't play guitar. There's nothing there. They couldn't teach you anything. The music class was like, it was nothing. So I knew that they had jazz band at the local high school, and they had a guitar slot. So the first year, I get there, and I think it was like 11th grade then when I went there. And so I get there, and there was already a guy in the guitar chair. So I had to audition, right? But what's funny is, you want to check the messages while you're live, touch the screen and you'll see okay, I'm still learning, Joe. I'm still learning. So I get there, I'm gonna audition for the high school jazz band, but there's a guy already in the chair, right? But I had been told by the drummer that I knew the drummer. He says, dude, he's been faking it for the last 2 years. He's not playing anything. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. So they gave us the sheet, like, here's what you're gonna play. And dude, it was a piece of pretty brisk swing. And it had a chord on every single beat of the measure, going all across the page. And you know, at first you're like, oh crap, like this is a lot, right? So I took it to my guitar teacher. I said, look, this is the audition piece. He says, okay, I know this is a lot. And it was a challenge. It was a challenge for my instructor. Because, you know, you didn't have like a ton of, you know, jazz teachers and stuff like that in the small town I was in. But he said, look, we're going to break this down, and we're going to learn this a measure at a time. And that's the best way to learn something, right? So we worked it out together. Big P. I'm always happy to have Big P in the house. So we broke the piece of music down to you know, play each chord. Yes, EVH and swing. Swing is so important, man. Grew up in Delaware, and he went to Catholic school and high school. He begged to go to public high school. It was for the girls. Yeah, probably. So we learned this piece. I learned it, right? And we broke it down, and I got it. So I play the audition, and the drummer looks over and he goes, dude, that's the first time I've heard guitar in this band in 2 years. So the other guy had been completely faking it for 2 years, sitting there and not playing anything. So fast forward, I'm in there for 2 years, right? And the next year, I finally, like, it makes it to the East Coast or Virginia, where I'm from. You know, we didn't always get like, it was hard to find Strats, and it was hard to find stuff. Yeah, he faked it for 2 years, dude. Played nothing. So that last year I was in jazz band, I got my first Kramer with the Floyd Rose. It was a blue Pacer Imperial, right? It had 2 humbucking pickups and a little toggle switch, and I think a volume and a tone and a Floyd Rose. And man, I was off to the races. But I made the mistake of one time taking that to jazz rehearsal, high school jazz band, right? And we had this song, and it was as rock and roll as any of that stuff could be. It was maybe a little bit of a funkier type thing. But I went and took the solo, and I cranked the amp, and I just, Floyd Rose, whammy bars, harmonics, or whatever, and doing all that, and the black guy in front of me is like, man, that's awesome. He was like that, and the teacher was just like, I need to see you in my in the office. So he sits me down in the office, and I said, I'm sorry, I got a little carried away. He says, don't ever bring that guitar to jazz band again. I was like, no problem, no problem. So that was the end of the Floyd Rose in the jazz band. It was Les Paul the rest of the way, but it's kind of a funny story. But I used to love those Floyd Rose, man. I still like doing that stuff. Yes, Mia, do you want to come say hi?
I want to play a video game.
You want to play the video game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Okay. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say, do you want to play your video game?
Do you want to play a video game?
Yes. Okay. So I tell you what, we'll take 1 minute. Let me turn on our video game. I'll be right back. All right, come on, honey. All right, let's see. All right, there it goes. There you go, honey. All right, we're back. You got to take care of the kids when they want the video games, right? We got 20 people in here that smashed that like button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. We're talking guitars, we're talking music. My daughter's a gamer too, can't help it, been one since the 80s. I wanted to have a little girl to spoil rotten. I'm spoiling her rotten, Billy. I'm telling you, I am. Thank you guys, thank you for being patient with me. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're having a little chat on a T.G.I.F edition. Now, I plan on trying to go live tomorrow, and I plan on trying to go live Sunday. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're talking guitars, we're talking gigs, we're talking video games, we're talking Floyd Rose, we talked hardtail bridges, right? I've always wanted a hardtail Strat, but I like having that trem. I'm glad I finally caught one. I'm glad you're here, Billy. It's awesome to have you here. Mia is awesome, and she loved the pool today. She absolutely loved the pool. So we're gonna be back at that pool a lot. The summer is not over yet. Nikos, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? Just got back from a huge Christian music festival. Wouldn't you know it? Every hired gun was out of Nashville. Man, the Christian music scene is huge in Nashville. And just, as big as the country thing. Just coding, might stream music later. All right, Nikos. Thank you for being here. We're glad to have you here. The Christian music scene is, it's all kind of based out of Nashville. And there's guys that I've known that have done those Christian tours and, been out there. And some of the guys that I've worked with, over the years have been on Christian tours with DC Talk and stuff like that. One of my friends, Todd Lawton, was out with Mac. What's that guy's name? You were quick. I'm always quick. I interviewed a few Christian metal people. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole scene, man. I've been jamming a lot with the Blackstar ID Core V4. It's a real cool little jam amp to plug it in fun with. Yeah, Billy, I I want, like, I'm thinking maybe a Katana Gen 3 would be good to have. I don't need any more guitars, man. I've got so many, all of a sudden making new metal albums. All right, man. I'm down for that, man. I like all types of music. I see the Striper van on the road in Texas from time to time. The band Striper stuff, you know, you could tell these guys were real players. Saw CeCe Winans, Ann Wilson, a bunch of amazing acts. Man, they get some amazing players in those bands, and you know you got to be good, you know, especially because you got to figure that also ties into the church players. Ever try Celsius? Yes, my wife drinks Celsius all the time. Ever heard Kingfish? Yes, I have heard Kingfish. Kingfish is awesome. I love Kingfish. And I love Eric Gales. The van is solid black and yellow. Okay. Eric Gales to me is the king right now. As far as blues players that can kind of do a little bit of everything. CeCe Winans brought me to tears. Yeah, I mean, dude, you hear some incredible music, gospel, and all that stuff, man. It's the stuff. Check out Line 6 Catalyst. Yeah, Chris, I feel like the Catalyst, it has great potential. And man, for a while there, you could get them dirt cheap, just like you can get a Gen 2 Boss Katana for super cheap, man. I was seeing Dan Huff is amazing. I was seeing, you know, Catalyst and Gen 2 Katanas super cheap. But I don't feel like the demos of the Catalyst, they just don't do it for me, man. I don't know if it's who's doing the demos or how they're recording or whatever, but you know, we all watched those demo videos, and I'm kind of still a newbie. I'm really a newbie here on YouTube, and I am starting at the very bottom as far as demos. Yes, I have demoed a lot of stuff that I've paid for, but as far as having companies send me stuff, and I want to do more of that. So if you're a company or you work for a company out there, hit me up. I would love to do some more demos. But so far, I've had the first one was it was a wireless thing that this small company sent me, and I did that demo first. Then GoCo Audio, I did. I think, what was that? 4 pedals for GoCo Audio. And those pedals were cool, man. If you're interested in those, check out my demos of the GoCo Audio stuff. The Magreen, that's the Echo Machine, and then the Pazuzu Overdrive, and what was the other one? There's one that's like a witch theme. I can't remember. Salem Boost or something like that. Man, those pedals are super cheap. If you check out the demos, the pedals are like 39 bucks. And if you check out any of those demos, hit the link in my bio. It helps the channel out immensely if you if you buy one of those pedals. But I trust me, on this channel, I'm not going to tell you to buy it if I don't like it. You know, if I don't like the pedal, and I had a company send me something one time. Eric Gales is incredible. Yes, I had a company send me something, and it didn't work. And I just told him, I said, look, you do not want me to demo this right now. So if you want to send me another one, I'll try that out. But right now, this is not going to work, because I could have put the demo out, and and just chopped it up and edited it so like it worked. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I built this channel on honesty and truth, right? And I think that's very important. So I'll only plug stuff that I really like, And if it's got issues or I don't like a certain thing about it, I'll pretty much just say it. Sending me a pedal for free is not guaranteeing you that I'm gonna like it, But ever use 8-gauge strings? No, I have not. The lowest that I've used is 9 through 42, And I do like those. And I tell you, there was an interesting thing that I noticed when I was on the road. You know, I mostly used 10 through 46 gauge, and I liked Ernie balls, and I was using Dunlop on the road because they were giving them to us for free. I like their strings just fine, but I usually buy Ernie Ball or Diodario. But I did notice I switched to nines at some point because I was starting to feel some pain in the hands and stuff like that, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just switch to nines, you know, and just see if it helped. Pat Travers, Billy Blaze, that is awesome. I switched to nines, and you know, we had in-ear monitors, right? I had these $1,000 headphones in my ears, molded to my ears. In fact, do I have them in here? Let's see. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, I have them in here somewhere, but I can't find them right now. So I had these in-ears, and man, playing with nines, I noticed I was cutting through the mix better. You know, you want to think like tens are thicker, but you know, and this was a band with another guitar player. So I'm hearing everybody, but I'm like, all of a sudden, like these nines, I was having more clarity. And it wasn't, you know, too many guitars. Here's the thing. If you're recording guitars, and I've done albums where I just did overdub after overdub and layers of this and layers of that. And the more guitars you put, the more kind of clouded your mix gets, and it becomes this kind of this wash and this soup, you know, where everything's just, it's just too much. So, you know, it's sometimes it's better to just, you know, one or two guitar tracks. And if you're going to do multiple tracks, make sure you're using different tones and you're mixing up, you know, parts and all that kind of stuff. Ibanez RG550 came with nines. I normally play with tens and switch them and change the feel. Yeah, go back to the nines. For stuff with a Floyd Rose, I find that it just seems to work better with nines. Now you can play them with tens, but you got to get it set up. It's a whole different setup. And then if you switch back to nines, then you got to get it set up again. Now, setting up a Floyd Rose locking type bridge is tricky. You know, I think maybe I've done it before. You got to adjust those springs on the back and all that. Yeah, it's just too stiff with tens. And I tell you what, like I said, because I started ESP had given me some guitars for the road, and that was one of the perks of getting out there. People were giving you stuff. I was getting all the pedals I wanted from Dunlop for free. So all the Eddie Van Halen MXR stuff, all of their overdrives, I just tell them what I want. And they just, or actually, I think pedals was like 50% off. So, you know, we would get that. But ESP LTD gave me a couple really nice guitars. Now, I don't have them anymore because it just, you know, playing in Nashville, you're not going to play a guitar like that. People just, they look at you like, what is that? But, man, and one had a Floyd Rose. And so I had that set up 9 through 42. And man, that was a great guitar. And at NAMM a couple years ago, someone was going around and just asking folks for their best guitar advice. Someone said, serve the song. That is the best advice anyone can give. And dude, you know, at serving the song and serve the tone that the song needs. I mean, I'll tell you a story. There was a country singer, I think his name was Marty Brown. Now, this was not like a big time guy, but at one time he had his shot at the big time. And I noticed many, many years ago, after he was in Nashville and it just didn't go anywhere. He's from Kentucky, right? This guy could sing country like nobody's business because he was country. He was Kentucky as can be, right? But this guy ended up on America's Got Talent about 4 or 5 years ago, like many years later. But I was working in a studio that was owned by Steve Cropper in Nashville. And I had an office above it, right? Marty Brown was down there recording a country album. And so they were working on this song, and it was like a honky tonk song, like a kind of, you know, a little bit of a, you know, Hellraiser type song. And they said, oh, we need a guitar, we need a rock guitar solo, or we need a, you know, we need a screaming solo. And so they just called me upstairs. Hey man, we need you to come. We need you to play this guitar through this amp to the solo. And I thought, and it was like a Fender. I had this Fender like solid state, but a good sounding like little like Princeton size combo amp. And they had that mic'd up, and they had this ratty like Mexican Fender Strat in the early days of the Fender Mexican Strat. It was like ice blue, you know, Strat. And they said, we want you to play that guitar through that amp. And I was like, oh man, I got my nice guitar upstairs. I'll go get that. So I started to cut the solo on with my nice guitar through that amp. Or actually, I think I may have even done a pass with the original guitar. And I said, oh, let me get my guitar. It'll sound better. And then I played it, and I'm like, you know what? You guys are right. It's this Mexican Strat through this, you know, solid state, but with an overdriven like tone thing. I go, you're right. That's it. And so I played the solo on that Mexican Strat through that solid state with an overdrive amp, and it was the perfect sound. It's like almost like they had the sound that they wanted, but they just needed somebody to execute it. And I just happened to be upstairs, you know, and just happened to be, and I think once I said, you know what, I think you guys are right, that's the guitar and that's the amp. It was done in like one or two takes. It was that easy. But that's serving the song. I had to go, man, I don't need my $2,000 Tom Anderson on this. That's gonna sound too refined. This song is honky tonk. This song is just, you know, and that guy could really sing country music. I mean, he was the real deal, dude. He was living it. He was living it. So that's my example and my story on that. How's everybody doing out there? We got 28 people. We got 21 likes. I want to get a few more subscribes on there. We're hanging here, talking music. We're talking stories. We're talking the road. We're talking Floyd Rose. We are talking string gauges. And we're talking having a little energy drink on a TGIF Friday here tonight. I'm getting a little David Lee Roth, man. How's everybody doing out there? Man, it reminds me of hearing the story. Good idea. Time for a pot of coffee. Hit that like and sub. Team BB. Yes, Team BB. David Lee Roth. How, you know, burning up LL. It's 105 in Texas today. Woo, Billy. Lord, Billy, you better stay hydrated, brother. Yes, indeed. David Lee Roth, right? Can you imagine playing that gig? Hearing the story of Bart Walsh. Bart Walsh was the original guitar player in the Atomic Punks. I'm so mad I missed Sammy when they were close by. I'm bummed I missed that. Quincy James stumbled on your videos the other day after moving out to Nashville school. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Quincy. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Big stars get songs written for them to use. John Schneider said that was his downfall. Lack of material. Quincy James, we're glad to have you here. Welcome to Nashville. Now, Quincy, are you going to Belmont? Is that where you're going? Are you going to Vandy? Are you going to TSU? Where you at? Fisk? Let me know. Or what's that other school? Belmont, Vandy. There's one other one. It's like a Christian school. I can't think of the name of that. But I tell you what, Belmont, dude, if I was a kid and like if my daughter decided she wanted to get in the music business, but I'd say, hey, you need to go to school first, I'd send her to Belmont, because that seems to be, people go to Belmont and they work their way through the program and they make the contacts, and most of those people end up in the music business. It's just, it's always about, yes, I transferred from Berkeley. I am a music theory arranger, come to the folk. Okay, transfer from Berkeley's music program to Belmont. Okay, hey man, I think you made a good choice because Berkeley is an amazing school. But man, if you make the contacts where you're at Belmont, and man, within a year or two, you should find yourself doing some stuff. Now, do you play an instrument, Quincy? Are you trying to break into playing, or you want to get into production? I think you're in the right spot. Now, I am now transitioned out of Nashville, but man, I have still got my feet so deep in the contacts and everything that I have there. All I got to do is make a phone call, and I'm back in the game. But I'm glad to be stepping away from it, because man, I see the players that I know. Look, I have seen guys, loved archangels, yes. I have seen guys play their last gig, like that stayed in Nashville their whole lives. And I've seen guys like with terminal cancer. And the band I was in, it was in desperate need for an instrument like a trumpet player. And this guy had terminal cancer. Like he had days to live. And the phone rang and he said, look, we know you're hurting, you're in bad shape, but we desperately need a trumpet player. And he says, I'll go do it. So this guy, I'm band leader, and I know this guy's like, man, his time is short. And I've seen him you see him on the gig, and he's playing his heart out. But you're knowing like, dude, this is sad. Here he is, and maybe that's where he wanted to be. But I always felt, and like when I was out on the road and we were grinding hard, we were partying hard and everything else, I did not want to die on that tour bus. I did not want to die with those people. God bless them. But I did not want to be that guy. And I don't ever want to be the guy I'm a guitar player. I mean, Randy Rhoads, Eric Johnson, Alex Lights. I'm more of a writer though. I found that. Okay. I wasn't able to, let me see if I can scroll back. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm more of a writer though. I found that angle to be my strength. So I'm studying towards that. Quincy, that's a good choice. That is a good choice. Work on lyrics. Now here's the thing, Quincy. With all this AI stuff going on right now, and I've talked about this with people, I guarantee you these writers, and there's a handful of guys that writing all the big, Scott Whalen died on the tour, but dude, I did not want to do that. And I was starting to feel like, man, any night could have been it for me. Any night. Message retracted, okay? So, Quincy, I know these writers now are, they're probably using ChatGPT on these writer sessions. And it worries me, the fact that people are gonna put that in there, put the input in there, rather than actually creating something themselves. And the same thing goes for this AI music creation. And they're calling like the people that do the prompts, they're calling them creators. And I'm like thinking, dude, you're not creating anything. Now I will on Logic, when I'm messing around with Logic or creating little tracks that I post in my videos, I use the Logic drummer, and sometimes I'll use the Logic bass player just so I can speed up the process. But man, AI is gonna replace the writers. It's gonna happen. So Quincy, don't give up playing. Learn some basic, country stuff. Learn to be able to play all styles of music, because I've done videos on this, man. If you can get some versatility, and can play a lot of different styles of music, when the music changes and things change, which is inevitable, you'll be able to adjust and you'll be able to work no matter what it is, because you break down all music to chords, melody, and harmony, you know? So, you know, Quincy, I think you're in the right place. Just be able to do it all. Be able to play, be able to write, be able to write lyrics, good lyrics, and you know, don't give up the fact that maybe you get a career playing. I think the main thing missing from music art as a whole, absence of vulnerability and true display of the human condition. That is correct. You are absolutely right, Quincy. We've got to keep music human. That is why live music is so important, and I mean real live music. And Bradley is saying the same thing. All styles. Look, to me, it came to a point where I just didn't care what style of music I was playing. I was just happy to be playing. You know, and the other most important thing, Quincy, is learn as many songs as possible. You know, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to learn whatever the Broadway standards are. Just learn them, because man, you could find yourself needing work, and you know, there's plenty of guys that you know, they're making bread down there on Broadway. I mean, you know, you just never know what you're going to have to do. Never going to a gig with just a computer sitting there. I just don't. Yeah, you look at the tail end of my time on the road. The computers started working their way into the thing, and we would have the in-ears, and the song would start beep, 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 and the drummer would, you know, boom, and we're into the song. And so all the little whoosh, risers and all that dance stuff and record scratches and all that stuff would all be in there. So, you know, we kind of sounded like the record, but, you know, there were times where it would malfunction. But because we had two guitar players, bass player, utility player, you know, we sounded fine without it. But, and here's the thing, man. You know, it got to a point where they literally sat me down and said, we want you to play your solos exactly like you played them on the record. And I said, look, man, I said, I get what you're saying, right? But I always grew up liking the players that would give you something a little extra live. Look, I can listen to the record anytime. But when I would go see Eddie Van Halen live, he would always quote the solo. But towards the end, he would add in something, and I'd be like, wow, what was that? And that is why I would go see those people. Not to hear him play it note for note every night, but to play something a little different, to take it somewhere else, make it personal each night. And they said, no, we don't want that. And I just said, man, I don't know what to tell you, because, dude, I will tell you what I will do. I will quote my solo. I will play 3/4 of my solo, note for note. But you cannot push me out on that stage with 15,000 people out there and tell me that at the last measure of my solo that I can't just start ripping, because I have to get into this every night. And if all of a sudden I'm just going through the motions, ding, 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 and doing, I can't do it. That is soul crushing. What if I'm playing my solo and I get to the last bar and somebody grabs my leg? I'm gonna react with my solo. I'm gonna, you know, and they just don't want that. They just want the same thing. And I told them, I said, you're gonna make your shows boring by doing that. What would be the point of someone coming to see multiple shows? Why do you think the Grateful Dead have such a huge following? Because they did it different every night. So you wouldn't get bored if you saw 4 shows in a row, because they were going to do something different. You knew they were, right? So, man, I battled the machine head on. And, you know, ultimately I lost, because it was like sayonara. But you know what? At that point, dude, Yes, the audience wants more. I mean, like I said, why do you think, all those old Hendrix like live things came out and why they're so relevant? If they found a professionally recorded Hendrix live album, and put it out tomorrow, dude, it'd be the first thing I would listen to, because every time I would hear a performance, he was always playing something different. His guitar would react different. The amp would react different. The crowd would react different. And that's what makes those recordings so valuable, is that they're unique and personal. So, Quincy, thank you for joining this channel today, because, it gives me a chance to give you a little bit of perspective of, what I went through. Learned on classic rock at 12, really became real to me after hearing Journey's Who's Crying Now. Michael Jackson's Beat It. After those days, I got a cheap Strat and went for it. Man, those are great things to be inspired by. And man, those performances, they're still inspiring. I mean, I'm sure you can play Beat It solo better than me. And I'm sure you play the heck out of that stuff, man. And I absolutely salute you. Those things, when that stuff came out, I didn't have YouTube. I didn't even have like teachers that could teach shredding. We sure missed that guy and to come in Washington. You didn't, back in the day, we didn't have YouTube and all this instructional material and stuff. So you would hear a solo like Beat It, and you would, wonder like, what is he doing there? Like, what is that? And I still, to this day, does anybody know what he was playing through on that solo? What amp? Because that is one of the most unique guitar sounds, that where it comes in, it's like, what is that? It doesn't sound like his Marshalls. Maybe it's the EQ what Quincy Jones and his engineer did to it, or the Toto guys, because apparently they had a huge part of it. Okay, I've got the Spectrum guy is coming here. I've seen Keith Horn played a 6-string bass. I am going to have to check out here soon because my cable guy is coming. But this has been a Danielle, what's happening? The teachers wanted you to go through the Mel Bay lesson books in sequence. Yeah, that to me, that would be soul crushing. I would never be able to learn Mel Bay. For me, it was learning songs, learning chords, cowboy chords. And learning songs was how I started out. And that, as soon as I realized I could play a song and I could sing, great service for up-and-coming musicians. Thank you, Bradley. I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to check out. Mia, do you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
All right, hold on.
Bye.
Say bye, Mia.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Cable guy's on the way. Quincy, thank you, brother, for coming. Thank you. I'm glad we were able to share some knowledge with you, and thanks everybody, and I'm going to see y'all tomorrow probably. All right, have a good one.